over the years, I have discovered something that is very paramount, and it's something that we as humans we tend to overlook. Not exactly everyone, but most of you in this situation, or that is the reason why some of you are so powerless. Some of you don't people don't respect you wherever you go to, because I've turned to understand that language does so much in the life of humans. Like, everywhere you go, you communicate with people. Some of you have been in Nigeria for a very long time. Others are planning to come to Nigeria. And some of you are planning to, come to Nigeria for investment, for business. Some of you have fiancés in Nigeria. You are in a relationship, like a serious relationship in Nigeria. But the problem is that you struggle with understanding Nigerian Pidgin English. You struggle with understanding how Nigerians actually communicate. Then you are not wrong, because today I'm going to be decoding how Nigerians communicate. Because sometimes on the road, if you don't know the particular words to use when you are on the road, when you are communicating with people, you keep getting lost and you feel like people are actually just confusing you. But the problem is that you don't understand them. And where there is no understanding, what is going to be there? Confusion. People go confused where. And you know that communication is not complete without understanding. Without I'm telling you, communication is not complete without understanding. Everywhere you go, you need to communicate. You need language. That is how important language is. As I'm talking to you right now, it is language. This is English. I'm communicating with you in English and also in Pidgin. So wherever you go to, don't let anybody deceive you. Language is power, and if you don't know how to harness language, you will keep missing out. There are four essential things in life: food, clothing, shelter. But the last and the most important of them all is how to communicate and understand people. Because if you cannot communicate and understand people, you cannot have clothing, food, and shelter. These three, but communication surpasses it all. Communication is very important. Guys, I'm so happy we are now 500 in our tribes, and we are growing. I mean, obviously we are growing because people want to learn how to decode this word, so when they come to Nigeria, they are no longer feeling lost. They are actually flowing in conversations. They know what to say, and they know exactly what someone said when in a particular context. Okay, because I told you that context matters more than the grammar. Some of you go ahead to practice the grammar. Some of you go ahead to practice the word. Some of you go ahead to cram these words, but you don't understand the meaning of these words. You don't understand how to use them in sentences. And when people also use these words, you get confused. You be like, no, that's not what it means. You're confused. You be like, no, that's not what it means. The problem is that you memorize words and you leave out the context behind those words. Memorizing the words or knowing the words and is not enough. In Pidgin, you have in Nigerian communication, Pidgin English, you have to understand it, because if you don't understand what this person is communicating or what this person is trying to say to you, there will be confusion. You will keep getting confused and you'll be like, oh, I thought you said this. Now he's saying that. Let me tell you, most of the time, whenever you communicate with your friends or whoever, and you don't whenever you communicate with your friends and there's always this loop, or you people don't, or you tend to fight more and more. I don't know how to explain this very well. It's because you don't understand yourself. It's because something you communicated seems wrong to the opposite. Because I can be talking to my sister and then we're arguing about something, and then I said this thing and then she translated it to meaning this X, Y, and Z, and then she's saying, you said this to me, you told me this. I don't know, man. You understand? But I be like, but this is what you told me, and then she's like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that. This is what it actually means. So context is very important. In Nigerian Pidgin English, you should listen for the context. You should listen for the context, because context is very important. The context, the situation, who is speaking, because you can hear how far in in a professional settings and hear how far on the street, they don't mean the same thing. Okay, because the thing is, some of you, that's why I always like going live. I like coming to talk to you one on one, because that's the time I get to spend time with you and understand these words with you, so you can start using it in conversations. So you can start using these words in conversations very well, because there is one thing, when you know, when you're in a space and you know the language that they communicate with, you are able to flow with them. You are able to flow with them. You become so confident. You can raise your head up high, say, yes, I know what this person is saying. So when you carry your bags and when you come to Nigeria, or if you're already in Nigeria, when you're bargaining in the market, on the street, you know exactly what to say to that customer to get them to give you at a very good price. Some of you are sleeping on it. Clarity doesn't it doesn't take a long time to learn how to speak Pidgin English. It just takes the right breakdown. And some of you are being so nonchalant to learning how to speak Pidgin English. People are winning with it. If you see foreigners speaking Pidgin English, it's because it took their time to learn how to speak Pidgin English. See, let me tell you, one of the best way to win a Nigerian lady's heart is to learn how to speak her language. Look, if you can communicate to her in her language, trust me, CJ, you've won her heart, because definitely you're trying to impress her. You're trying to impress that lady by learning her language, learning her culture. That is enough for that lady to give you respect. I'm telling you. If a man should sit down and tell me, oh babe, I'm gonna do this for you. This. Okay, I will learn your language, and then so that I can flow with your people. Do you know that's already a win? That is already a win. So today I'm going to show you words that you can use on the road. Practical words so when you're on the road, when you're talking to somebody, they know exactly what to do. You're telling them, you're not like, okay, I'm confused about this. No, you're saying it that this is the intention. This is the intention behind this word that I use. And they're picking it up. Immediately, you're using these words. I told you I don't teach you Pidgin words, okay? If you want to learn Pidgin words, you could go look on Google. No, yeah, of course. What is it? And then it will tell you. But we decode how Nigerians speak. My name is Ezinoma, and I help foreigners understand how Nigerians actually speak and think, so you don't end up feeling lost in real conversations and in professional settings. And yeah, who said Pidgin English cannot be used in professional settings? Who talk and say Pidgin cannot be used in professional settings? Because a language that over how many millions of people speak in Nigeria, you cannot tell me that language is not important. Because if it's not so important, no many people will be speaking it. Many people know what they speak on. To tell you how important it goes, and it's widely spread across every town, like every state in Nigeria. Okay, there are so many diverse language, but learning Pidgin is the standard, and knowing how to speak Pidgin English already gives you an edge. That would be the difference between Mr. A and Mr. B. Mr. A and Mr. B planning to come to Nigeria. Mr. A is already he's prepping and learning how to speak Nigerian culture, because when he comes here, he wants to socialize, learning how to speak Pidgin English. He wants to socialize because he understands the fact that man cannot make an island. He understands the essential of communication, how essential it is. Because when you come here, to determine whether or not your trip will be so successful, or whether or not you will vibe, or whether or not you're going to have a great time, is dependent on who you can communicate with, and communication in general. Because if you don't know how to communicate, there's already a huge restriction. There's already a huge restriction. Guys, I want you to click on the link. I want you to subscribe. I want you to subscribe, because what I'm giving you here is free gems. Free gems, dream. I don't know what to call it. When I know disturb my life, okay? My English is terrible. But anyways, let us get into the class. I want you to grab a pen and a jotter. Grab anything, whatever. Open your notepad. Maybe you could be listening. I don't know. I think I like the TikTok live, because I get to write. So if you're streaming this, if you're watching the replay, whatever if you're yet to subscribe, do well to subscribe, because you're gonna go. That's the only way you keep seeing my face. If you don't subscribe, well, and I then I like to take notes so I don't like divert, because look at me, I'm already ranting. I don't leave the thing I was supposed to teach, and I don't know if they talk on that thing when they follow when they script. I mean, that's how important this is. It cannot be overemphasized on, okay? So you are not wrong sometimes. It's just the context. One word can have different meaning. One word can have different meaning. Let's say that you're on the road. I want you to imagine yourself on the road. 2 p.m. in the afternoon. The sun is scorching like really really hard on the streets of Lagos or Abuja or wherever, Delta State, Port Harcourt, wherever you are in Nigeria. Just imagine yourself. I want you to put yourself in that position, and you're trying to get to the bank. You want to do some quick transaction. What will you say in order for you to get to your location? How would you approach a person? What do you say to this person? Because some of you will freeze at that point in time. Because if you open your mouth to say the right words, you're already winning. What you say determines what you get. Yes, what you say. It's the same thing. Like you praying to God. God, I want a Gucci and a Fendi purse. God, I want to make so much money this year. These are the words. You're expecting that in return, God will give you all of these things that you desire, right? It's the same thing with language. What you open your mouth to speak, what you open your mouth to say, that's what you get in return. I'm going to teach you how to use these words. When someone is walking past you, how do you ask that person for direction? Now let's get very, very practical. Let's get very, very practical so that you don't stay on that scorching sun and be confused, not knowing what direction to take. When you see somebody, or when you want to ask for direction from somebody, you want to approach that person for the first time. You might not know this person before. You have to exchange pleasantries. You have to greet. You have to exchange some sort of pleasantries, to make that person know that, oh, you're together. I did with you. Okay? So what do you say? You might be saying, coach, okay, what do I say to this person? Because already sun don't they beat me. And again, I need to get to the bank before the bank closes. The bank closes by 4 p.m. and you're in a hurry. You tell that person, Oga, how far? Or Madam, how far? Or fine girl, how far? Or babe, how far? You tell that person how far. First of all, that is an informal way of greeting. And this is only applicable to people on your age range. People that all of you are on the same age range. Okay? So it's a casual way of, talking to somebody, greeting somebody. Because if you misplace this, you would think wherever you see somebody and then you squeeze how far, you're going to put yourself in trouble. That's why I said this is a casual way of greeting somebody. But it is not applicable to everybody. If you say how far to an elderly person, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. That's why people, they don't tell you this. They just say, great in Pidgin English, how far means what's up. You cannot tell what's up to an older person in Nigeria. Let me tell you. Respect is everything. Respect is everything for Nigeria. So you say, bros, how far? Bros is like saying bro. The way the way you guys do it abroad. You say, bro, what's up now, bro? Bro, waiting to happen. So you say bros. So bros means bro. If you're talking to a guy that is your age range or whatever. Then if it's a lady, you say, I don't know, you could say babe, you could say fine woman, or I don't know, whatever. But whatever, you say how far to that person. Hey, how far now? Then the person responds, I did. That person will obviously smile because you just pulled the person in. Do you know how there are some persons that know how to reel people in with their speech, with what they say? So I just reeled you in by asking you or by saying how far to you. In this context, I'm just like saying hello to you. We're exchanging pleasantries, and then I respond with I do. Then what do you say next? Because you're trying to get them to direct you to a particular place you're going to. Because remember, you're trying to move from that hot scorching sun. You're trying to get to the bank. That person has responded to your how far, and then you said I do. Now what do you say next? Because you have to keep the conversation going. You don't say how far and then you freeze, hoping the person will read your mind. That person is not a mind reader. And remember that you're trying to get out of that scorching sun. So what is the next thing that you should say? What is the next thing? I told you that I promise that today's life is going to be very, very practical. And I'm actually like ranting because I want to get this off the context. All of these are in my structure. I've already put all of this in my structure, in my system. Once you click on the link, you get it. That's why whenever I come online, I try to teach you all of these words. What is the next thing that you say to that person? What is the next thing you say when you're trying to, okay, I'm trying to ask you, how do I get to the bank? How do I get to the bank? Or that person might even ask me, where you dey go? That person might even ask me, because I'm trying to be friendly with this person. This person is already buying into me, my vibe, because I said how far. Obviously, I've already gained some sort of respect and trust from you. So the person might then ask you, where you dey go? You know, that is sort of where you dey go. And they'd be like, so where you dey go is literally them asking you, where are you going to? Where you dey go? Where you dey go? What do you respond with? If person asks you, say, where you dey go, what do you respond with? Because now you've not even told the person where you're going to. The person is now asking you because you look like you're confused. You look like you're trying to get out of that hot scotching sun and you're trying to get to the back. So the person asks you, where you dey go? What do you respond? I don't want you to freeze, because that's why some of you get it confused. That's why some of you, mess up the whole thing. If someone should ask you where you dey go at this point in time, you go talk, say, I dey go bank. I dey go bank. I dey go market. Depends on where you're going to. Where you dey go? Bros, where you dey go? Oyibo, where you dey go? I dey go bank. This is communication. If this is not communication, I don't know what else is communication. I don't know what else is communication. Guys, I want you to tap on your screen. Tap on your screen, guys. I'm giving you free gems. Tap on your screen. Where you dey go? Oh, I dey go bank. I dey go bank. Where you dey go? I dey go bank. Then it's left for that person to tell you how to get to the bank. And trust me, that person will tell you how to get to the bank, because for that person to ask you where you dey go, it means that person is really interested. That person is interested in you. Not interested like romantically. No. No, I mean that person wants to, like, that person is like vibing with you, and that person wants to get to your direction, to get to where you're going to. So this is the thing you see daily on the street. This is the things you see daily on the road. Because if you don't know how to navigate things on the road, knowing the right words to say, you cannot even do much. I tell you all the time, I tell you these things, that food, clothing, shelter, that's just 3, but there's one missing: communication and how to understand people. Because without communicating and how to understand people, you miss the rest. You miss all 3. See, shelter, food, clothing becomes useless without communication and understanding people. Because if you can communicate, you can buy food. You can't. If you can't communicate, you can get a roof over your head. You can't. So how do you do it? How do you do it? By learning how to speak the language of the people. When you learn how they do for that side, they relate for that side, they talk for that side, they vibe for that side. When you come that side, when you deal with them, you will not say no shaking. You know what they do. You don't get embarrassed when somebody talks to you, because you don't know what to respond back. You don't even give the awkward laugh, because you know exactly what to say. These are all of the things I teach in my system. These are all of the things I tell my students to do. And if you're wondering myself, I have one-on-one. I take my student on one-on-one classes. I take my student on one-on-one classes. If you're in my community, forget it. You're either gonna learn or you're gonna learn. So I'm giving you clarity today, but you can choose confusion. The life is not for everybody. The life is not for everybody. Okay? But if you're the person, now, what if you're the one that wants to ask that person or tell that person that this is where you're going to and you want to get to that place? How do that person direct you? You say, I dey go. You mention where you're going to. I dey go. Then you mention the place. I dey go bank. How go take reach there? I'm doing long phrases today. I dey go bank, madam, bros. How go take reach there? or how I go take go bank, or how I go take reach bank. And then the person will tell you, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. But you know, you cannot just bump into somebody and just tell the person that they go. You have to exchange pleasantries. Respect in Nigeria is very, very important. Like, it cannot be overemphasized. If you want anything, just know the right words to say. The right words to say is you automatically respecting them. Nobody's saying to go and bow down and worship them. Nobody's telling you to, salam alaikum. Nobody's saying to do all of those, humble, humble things. The right words is actually respect, with the right tone, the right situation, the right context. You're already doing a lot. And don't forget, there's a magic word. There's a magic word. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you how you can get people to speed up things with you. Like, if that delay your time, you want them to like hasten up, I'm going to show you how to. If you stick with me, I'm going to show you how to do that. But first of all, there is a magic word to all of these things. You cannot just come to me and you're not being polite. I'm going to just leave you to yourself. So the thing with communication is knowing exactly what to say. So now I come to you and I'm telling you that this is the thing and I need help. What do I say? I must add the magic word abeg. They say that please, excuse me, sorry, thank you. I mean, abeg is also a magic word in Nigeria. And abeg does not always mean please. It depends. But in this situation, abeg is please. And then if you want to know the other meanings of abeg, click on the link on the bio. Click on the link and gain clarity. I've put all of these meanings of abeg in my structure, in my system. You keep procrastinating. I want to learn. So now, abeg is a soft request. Abeg is what? Is a soft request. Because abeg, how I want to reach that place? Soft request. That person will consider you. Except that person is mean and evil. If that person is mean and evil, just leave that person. But then you know how to use abeg. Abeg, see where they go. Help me go to so and so place. That is the magic word, abeg. How far is the magic word as well? Because it's entrance. You're trying to enter into the conversation. You're trying to get into that conversation. You open the conversation with how far. And I told you that it's a casual greeting. You cannot use how far with everybody. If you want to understand how to use how far with everybody, click on the link in my bio. Check my system. Now, so abeg here is a soft request. Because you're trying to get them to do something for you. The easiest way to get someone to do something for you in Nigeria is using the word abeg. Quote me anywhere. Coach said it. As a foreigner navigating the streets of Nigeria, or even over in workplaces as well, it's a soft request to get them to tell you. And some of you think abeg just only means please. That's why you keep getting it all wrong. I've break all of this down in my system. Because if you don't know this, you keep getting lost. You keep getting the conversation wrong. So whenever you go, you're using abeg, and people are looking at you awkwardly. Because they know, we the locals, we know that we can use abeg like 5 times and it means 5 different things entirely. I know that you're shocked. Oh my god. I'm shocked as well. You see, Pidgin English is very, very flexible. Pidgin English is very, very flexible. And it's not even hard. It doesn't take a whole year to learn how to speak Pidgin English. It just takes the right breakdown. So I'm teaching you how to navigate the road in Nigeria. Because this is what you see when you get into my system. I will show you definitely how to get them to do something for you. How to get to your destination with the right Pidgin words. Because not every word you can use. Okay? Not every Pidgin words applies in this context. Guys, hold on. Not every Pidgin word applies. You cannot be using abeg, be throwing abeg everywhere. You have to understand when to use abeg. You have to understand when to use how far. You have to understand when to say what you want to say. Okay? So nobody's rejecting you in Nigeria. It's just your words. It's just the word. That is the problem. It's just the words. That is the problem. And if somebody say, or and you're trying to ask that person for direction, that person just immediately say, oh yeah, wait till they come. Oops. I think you have to just go, because if you wait for that person, most of the time you're going to sit and wait forever. You're going to sit and wait till rapture comes, because that person will not come. Most of the time, like 90% of the time, Nigerian tells you I'm coming, and they come. Just go to the next person, because you're trying to leave the hot scorching sun. Just go to the next person, because I they come in Nigeria means a lot of things for different people. Because if you don't understand that, you keep missing the conversation. You keep missing the conversation. You know, when decoding these words together. So I they come can mean different things for different people. I they come can be like, I'm not interested. You know, because obviously they can be in a haste, and then you're telling them to direct you on how to get to the bank. They'll be like, oh, they come and they come. They're leaving you. They're going. But you're confused. But this person says, this person saying they come. And then you're waiting. Hopefully they're going to come. They're not coming. They're not coming. Especially if you guys are strangers. Sometimes they might even be so caught in the crowd that they forget that they actually told you that they're coming. And they're telling you that they're coming. They're not giving you any specific time. They didn't say 1 hour time, 5 minutes time. Like, so why do you keep waiting? That's the thing. You take these words and you try to translate them literally. You take these words and you try to translate it word for word. You cannot box Pidgin into one space, because it won't fit. It needs to free itself, like a bird that you boxed up in a cage. It can't fly. It's restricted. Pidgin is not restricted. So one word can apply for different meaning. One word can mean a whole different thing for a whole new different people. One word can mean different things for different people. Okay? Guys, hold on. So sometimes when they tell you no, they don't automatically tell you no. They don't open their mouth to tell you no. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to direct you. They can just, do some body language things, say some words, but they're not necessarily telling you no, because Nigerians, they know how to put their words in social context, but they don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to hurt your feelings. So they know how to just, program their words. So when somebody says, I'm coming, and they come, they might not actually be invested. They might not actually be interested. But then you're sitting there waiting that person is going to come immediately. That person will attend to you immediately. Just move. Guys, I'm getting a call. Hold on. Guys, I want you to tap on your screen. I want you to tap. This is I'm giving you on this live. You will not get it anywhere. You will not, and you are staying because you are choosing clarity over confusion. And I'm happy for you, because not everybody are so decisive. This year, many people promise themselves a lot of things that they're going to do. Oh, I'm going to get my goals right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Are you doing the things you promised yourself? You said you wanted to learn how to speak Pidgin English. Are you actually taking your time to learn? Some of you don't even follow me. It's crazy, but it's the fact. I said that this time around I'm going to start reading. Where's my book? I said I was going to start reading, but I've been doing that. It's a consistency, but you do it for the transformation, because I will tell you that none of you wake up in the morning and feel so excited to go brush their teeth. I've never seen any individual on planet Earth that wakes up and says, oh my God, I'm so excited, I want to go brush my teeth. Never. I've never seen it. It doesn't happen. I'm talking to you. It doesn't happen in the history of time. You don't wake up and feel excited to go brush your teeth, but you still do it anyways. Why? Because you still do it anyways. You still brush your teeth. Why do you still brush your teeth? You brush your teeth because you don't want to go out there and feel embarrassed. Because when you relate with people, you don't want people to get the wrong vibe. You don't want them to perceive that you're a dirty person. So you brush your teeth whether or not you feel like. That is Pidgin English. You learn it for the transformation. You learn it because of what you stand to gain. You learn it because you don't want to go outside and be perceived like a JJC. You're not a Johnny Just Come. You want to blend easily with people. And one way to blend easily with people is with language. Wherever you go to, you behave like them. You behave like them. You take up their identity. It's not because you're doing it because you're doing it for the transformation. You're doing it because of what you stand to gain. When I travel to a